Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the Good Ideas portable washing machine. Now the instructions that come with this appliance aren't all that clear, so hopefully by the end of this video you'll know how to use the machine properly. I'll take you through the various stages, how to fill the machine, how we go about washing, rinsing, spinning, and then finally how to empty the machine. So the first thing we need to do after plugging it in, of course, is to fill it with water. This is the fill hose you get supplied with the machine. It's not very long and to be honest it's not very strong either, but so far it's done the job for me. Now you get two ends for this. This end is designed to fit into your tap and this end is designed to go into this hole that's marked water inlet. Once you've connected both ends of the fill pipe, just turn your tap on and you can start filling your washing machine. It's a bit hard to see, but this is where the water is actually entering the wash tub, and you need to fill the wash tub until it's about 2/3 full. Okay, I think I've got enough water in there now. The next thing you do before you add your clothes is to add your detergent. You can use any detergent you like in this machine, liquid or powder, whichever brand, it doesn't matter. So I've got one capful of my regular non-bio liquid detergent that I like to use. So I'm just going to pour it directly into the water. Before you add the clothes you need to make sure the detergent is thoroughly mixed into the water. So just close the lid and turn the machine on using the wash timer button just for a few seconds. Okay, that's enough. So everything is thoroughly mixed and it's ready for the clothes. The instruction book says that this washing machine will handle 3.5 kilograms of laundry and spin dry about 2 kilograms, which basically means you can wash 3.5 kilograms, but you do need to split the load in two before you rinse and spin. But I've actually weighed this out. This is approximately 3.5 kilograms of washing, and to me it does look too much for this small capacity machine. So I'm going to only wash half of this, and I suggest that you do the same. Don't overload the machine. You'll get the best results if you put in a bit less than it says, and it's easy enough to do 2 loads, and these aren't very heavily soiled items, so I can reuse the water. Okay, the water's in, the detergent's in and thoroughly mixed into the wash. I'm now going to start adding the clothes. I find it beneficial to add the laundry to the machine while it's going. It's easier to judge then how much more you can put in. So I'm just going to turn the timer on and add some of the clothes. Right, that's approximately half the wash load I showed you, and to be honest that's all I'm putting in. So really I think 3.5 kilograms is a little bit ambitious. Also when you're watching the load you can tell if you need to add a bit more water, and obviously it's starting to struggle now. So either you need to take some of the clothes out or add more water, and I think I'm going to add some more water to this. So I've turned on the tap again and we've got some more water entering the wash tub as the machine's washing. Okay, I think that's about enough water. So now I'll just take you through the controls. There are 3 controls on the top of the machine. This one is the wash timer, this one is the wash selector, and this one is the spin timer. the first thing you need to determine is how long you want to wash your laundry for. So as a general guide, for lightly soiled items or delicates, you don't want to be washing much beyond 6 minutes. But if you've got a load of heavily soiled items, then possibly 15 minutes would be the setting to choose, or you can choose anything in between. For these shirts, I think 6 minutes is more than adequate, so that's what I'm going to select for that. You've also got two different types of wash action, normal or gentle. Now for these cotton shirts, I'm going to use it on normal, but if you're washing anything more gentle, then obviously you'd switch to the gentle cycle and it doesn't agitate quite so much. Obviously also the water temperature is important. If you're washing heavily soiled items that need a hotter water, then you put in hot water, but not boiling water. You can damage the machine. Obviously if you're washing more delicate items, you need to put in some cold water as well as the hot. So basically just use your common sense as you would anyway. The other selection on the wash selector dial is drain, and you only need to do that when you're emptying the machine. So it's set on normal. I'm going to turn the wash timer to 6 minutes, and then basically I can leave the machine until I come to rinse and spin. So that's the first load washed. Now we need to spin it for the first time. This, on the side of the machine, is the drain hose. Obviously before you start spinning or emptying the machine, you must make sure that that is either over your sink or in your shower or directed outside, depending where you're using the machine. Now if you're using it in a standard kitchen, unfortunately it really isn't long enough to hook over the sink. That's what I found anyway, even when the machine is really close to the sink. So you might have to empty it into a bucket. It is a bit inconvenient, but obviously it's better than going to the laundrette. But because I'm going to reuse this water, I'm actually going to hook the drain hose over the wash tub. That way, when it spins out the excess water from the clothes, I'm going to have all the reused water going back in the tub so I can use it again. So here's the spinner. And as I said earlier, you can only spin dry about half of what you can wash. This is the spinner mat that you get included. You must use that. I'll show you that in a minute. But first we need to transfer some of the clothes into the spin tub. Obviously if the water's very hot and you've got some tongs, use tongs or rubber gloves. The water in this laundry isn't very hot, so it's okay for me. Plus I'm using an eco-friendly detergent, so I know it's not going to affect my hands, as some more harsher detergents could. So I'm just filling up the spinner up to the top. You don't want to overload it. I think I can get maybe one more shirt in there. It does tangle the clothes a bit, so you do have to untangle the clothes from each other. Let's get that out of the way. There we go, that's about full now. Just press it down. I could at a push get another t-shirt in there, but I think that's enough. Then you need to put the spinner mat on top of your laundry. Again, press it down, close the inner lid, and then close the outer lid. And I'm going to spin this for about 2 minutes. Obviously make sure that your drain hose is hooked properly over. I always do this. You can close the lid over it, and that holds it into place. So I'm just going to spin it for 2 minutes now. Okay, so it stopped spinning. Now the machine will continue to spin until you open the lid, and then it'll automatically stop. That's a double safety feature, and then of course you can remove the laundry. Now I've just done the initial spin, obviously we haven't rinsed yet, but it's got the majority of the soapy water out of the clothes, and you'll get a better rinsing result if you do spin them before you start to rinse. Now before I rinse, I'm just going to reposition the clothes in the tub, just loosen them up a bit, and now I'll show you how to rinse the clothes. You'll notice there's another water inlet just over the spinner, so that's where you need to connect your fill hose, but this time we don't want to be adding hot water, we want to be adding cold water or warm water to the rinse tub. So again, connect one end of the hose to the tap and one end of the hose to the water inlet, and then switch the tap on. If I lift the lid of the spin tub, you'll be able to see where the water is actually entering the spinner. So as you can see, it's saturating the wash now with clean water, helping to rinse out any detergent residue. Again, you need to pop the spinner mat back on top before you start to spin. Now you can start spinning while the water is actually going into the machine, which is what I tend to do at first. Then I turn the water off and allow the machine to spin out all the excess water. Before I start spinning, I need to take out the drain hose from the wash tub, because I obviously don't want the cold water going in here. We need to drain out the cold water. So if it will hook over your sink, hook it over your sink or wherever you can find a suitable place for it to drain. Right, that's the first rinse and spin done. And again, the clothes are damp dry. Depending on how much you want to rinse the garments, if you've got allergies you may want to rinse it even more to get the detergent out. I'm obviously going to do at least one more rinse, so I'm just going to pop the clothes back in. And add some more cold water. Again, when the clothes are fully saturated, turn your tap off, and then you can do another spin for, I think, for about 3 minutes. So that's the second spin completed. One tip, if the machine vibrates too much, you need to reposition the clothes in the spinner. It should be more or less rock steady, like you've seen it here. If it starts jiggling about, it means that the load isn't distributed evenly. So you just need to readjust the load or add some more clothes. It doesn't cope well with an unbalanced load. So if you just say are washing one bath mat, it's not a good idea. You do need to more or less fill the capacity of the spinner. But anyway, I think I can't really smell any detergent residue on that. I think for me 2 rinses and spins is more than enough. Now if you want to add fabric softener, as many people do, you can, but it is a bit more tricky. Now you can do either one of 2 ways. As you're filling the spinner with the water, as the water's coming out of this jet here, you can pour some fabric softener in the stream of the water, and that way you'll get the fabric softener distributed into the load. A better way is, once you've finished your washing, empty your wash tub, fill it with cold water, then a capful of your fabric softener, then put your load back in, put it on for a couple of minutes, and then just spin it. You don't need to rinse it again, obviously. Then you just put them back in the spinner, spin it, and then that's your washing done. But there we go, they're pretty dry, the clothes that come out, and maybe not as dry as, say, full-size automatic, but certainly far drier than you could get them by hand. trying to wring them out, and believe you me, when my washing machine broke down I was trying to wash everything by hand. Easy enough to wash things, but how do you dry them? It was an absolute nightmare. So there we go, I've washed that and rinsed it and spun it. Obviously it's not the full load I put into the washing machine. I can put those to one side, they're done, they can be hung out to dry. So you just repeat the process. The rest of the washing can now go in the spinner. That's it, got everything out. Press it down, pop on the spinner lid, the spinner cap, and then give it an initial spin, and then of course add your rinse water. When you finish your washing, you obviously need to empty out the wash tub. Now this does look a funny colour. I think some of the dye in one of the t-shirts has bled a bit. It's not affected the rest of the laundry, which is why it looks a little bit red. All you need to do to empty the tub, of course, you need to direct the drain hose over your sink or outside or again into your shower, wherever you've got the machine. And you need to turn the wash selector to drain. Right, so that's the wash tub all emptied. Now what I suggest you do before putting the machine away is just swirl around some clean water all around the wash tub, give it a bit of a rinse, and then switch to drain again to make sure that water's drained out. And then give the tub a bit of a dry out. Also you can dry the spinner, just give the machine a wipe out, don't leave it like this when you put it away, and then it's fresh for next time. That concludes my demonstration of the Good Ideas twin tub washing machine. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments section. You'll also find below the video a link to another video I made of this machine a few months ago that goes into a little bit more detail, but it does go on for rather a long time, so I thought I'd do a quicker video for anyone who just wanted to know how to use this machine.